They said we could not think. I proved we could dream. My mother taught me letters before I could properly hold a pen. Education was our family's religion. At Ateneo, the Jesuits taught me that excellence was a choice. I chose to be excellent. Perfect grades meant nothing. The Dominicans made sure we knew. Peninsular first, Mestizo second, Indio never. When they imprisoned my mother for defending our tenant, I learned that law could be lawlessness. Madrid University treated me as José Mercado, scholar, not as Indio, not as colonial subject, simply as mind meeting. Here, in this cold Berlin room, I would write the words that would wake a sleeping nation. Every page of Noli Me Tangere was deliberate. I gave Filipinos characters they could recognize as their own families. Without Maximo's 300 pesos, my revolution might have died in manuscript. Sometimes history hangs on friendship. Simón embodied what Ibarra could become. The idealist transformed by experience into revolutionary. When I restored my mother's sight, I proved that Filipino minds could master any discipline. La Liga Filipina, its peaceful change through education and unity. I had not yet learned that some minds cannot be changed. My novels reached Filipino homes from Apari to Hulo. For the first time, we saw ourselves reflected in literature. In Crisostomo Ibarra, they saw their own idealism. In Sisa, every suffering mother. In Maria Clara, the tragedy of being caught between worlds. Their terror proved my success. When an empire burns books, you know the words inside were true. 4 days after founding La Liga, they arrested me. Even peaceful Filipino organization terrified them. Dapitan became my classroom. Here, I proved what Filipino leadership could accomplish. Education, medicine, development. While I taught school in exile, Bonifacio taught revolution in Manila. My ideas had taken form I never intended. The revolution I had tried to prevent through peaceful reform erupted without me. While I healed in Cuba, they put me on trial. They called it law. History will call it fear. My final poem was not for Spain or for history. It was for every Filipino who would remember that thinking is not a crime. They think my death ends this. They never understood. Sometimes the most powerful word is your last. Let them kill my body. My words will outlive their empire. 7:03 a.m., December 30th, 1896. The moment 333 years of colonial lies died with me. Consumatum est. It is finished. Some sacrifices echo through eternity. My death became their battle cry. Every shot fired for freedom carried my name forward. June 12, 1898. The impossible became inevitable because one man proved we deserved to be free. In every Filipino classroom where students learn to question and to think, my true revolution continues. They carved my body in stone, but my real monument beats in every Filipino heart that refuses to kneel. The greatest revolution begins not with weapons, but with the simple act of teaching people to think.
They told me what I couldn't become. I was born when cherry blossoms bloom twice. And oh, men, Mother said. While other girls learned to lower their eyes, I learned to raise mine. My father gave me a name, but the mountains taught me strength grows from stillness. Yoshinaka saw not my limits, but what I was meant to become. When I became his consort, they called me shame. I called it destiny. When war came to our mountains, I knew my true test had arrived. The first time I put on armor, I felt the mountain's power in my bones. Armor isn't just protection, it's who you become when death is near. In battle, I found what my soul had been seeking. With each victory, their doubt turned to respect. In battle, I found something beyond myself. The blade became prayer. At Kurakara Pass, I learned that numbers don't always win. The fearless do. They called me worth 1,000 warriors. I felt their weight in my blade. We reached the summit, but mountains have only one way down. Kyoto welcomed us as heroes, but I could smell the danger underneath. In war, your enemies face you. In court, they sit beside you. I watched pride destroy the man I loved. Some lessons only come through fire. Even cherry blossoms fall. Beauty lives in its willingness to die. Love sometimes demands the impossible choice, to save or to let go. Awazu, 300 of us against 10,000. We knew how it would end. Leave, he said. You're a woman, as if being a woman made me weak. My last kill wasn't for honor. It was to finish what I started. I buried my past in that snow, and a different woman rode away. They tell different stories about what happened to me. What matters is what became wisdom. I learned that stories can be sharper than swords. I came back to where I started, but I wasn't the same person. Living forever isn't about never dying. It's living so truly the echo never fades. In everyone who refuses to accept limits, the warrior lives, because the only limits that matter are the ones you accept.
I was born under a comet, but I conquered with wisdom. They say I was born when the sky caught fire, a child destined to unite what had never been one. Hidden from those who feared the prophecy, I grew strong in the shadows of my own people. Uncle Kalaniopu gave me more than knowledge. He gave me purpose. Kekuhaupio taught me that true strength serves something greater than itself. When I moved what no man could move, I felt the mana of my ancestors flow through me. When Uncle died, he gave me the god of war and the burden of uniting a broken land. My first victory taught me that blood means nothing without backbone. When the foreign ship brought metal thunder, I saw how to turn prophecy into reality. At Kepaniwai, I learned that wisdom adapts, while fools repeat the past. When Pele herself struck down my enemies, even the skeptics understood whose side the gods favored. I built Pu'ukohola, not just for the gods, but to show my people that some things are worth any sacrifice. Nuwanu, I proved that unity isn't given, it's forged in fire and brotherhood. When they chose death over surrender, I understood the price of making enemies into allies. For the first time in our history, Hawaii was whole, but conquering is easier than ruling. Kaumali'i understood what I was learning. Sometimes the strongest walls are made of water. The ocean taught me that even kings must respect forces greater than themselves. Disease killed more of my warriors than any enemy ever could. I learned that some battles cannot be won with weapons. My advisors taught me foreign wisdom. Sometimes the strongest victory is the one that makes no enemies. The hardest battle I ever fought was against my own need to prove myself through conquest. When Kaumali'i agreed to join us as brother rather than subject, I learned that true strength builds rather than breaks. For the first time in our people's memory, all Hawaii spoke with one voice. My greatest law came from my greatest shame. When fishermen broke their paddle on my head defending their families, I learned to trade with the world while keeping Hawaii for the Hawaiians. Unity is not a destination. It's a burden you carry until the day you die. They hid my bones. where even death cannot find them, because some mana must never fade. My greatest victory was not conquest, but giving my people the strength to remain themselves. Every June, they remember not the warrior who conquered, but the leader who protected what makes us who we are. In every Hawaiian child who learns their culture while mastering the modern world, my work continues. True leadership means building something greater than yourself. Something that survives even when you cannot.
They saw what I needed them to see. But inside, I was already building my empire. In that floating world, I learned that power protects those who have it. I decided to take some for myself. Ching Shih offered me partnership. I offered him someone who could make him legendary. Partnership became something deeper. Together, we were unstoppable. When I lost Ching Shih, I realized his final gift was showing me my own strength. 70,000 souls couldn't wait for my grief. They needed a leader who understood their pain. They got an empress who would die before failing them. I didn't want power for its own sake. I wanted power to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. We became what the Empire couldn't be. Protectors backed by the power to actually protect. I didn't just build a home for 80,000 souls. I built a fortress that could protect them from any enemy. I proved that crime doesn't pay, but justice does. Power means nothing if you can't use it to lift others up. I realized that winning every battle meant nothing if I lost the people I was fighting for. True power means choosing your battles. I was about to win the greatest victory in pirate history. I turned their own honor into my greatest weapon. Not as manipulation, as demonstration of superior strategy. I didn't just save my people. I conquered an empire without firing a shot. I proved that people aren't born criminals. They're made by circumstance, and can be remade by opportunity. True victory isn't defeating your enemies. It's making sure the next generation doesn't need to fight the same battles. I lived to see the day when strength served justice, instead of the other way around. I showed the world that a forgotten woman could reshape an empire. What others might be possible. I died rich in the only currency that matters. The lives I'd protected, and the peace I'd won. They called me the most successful pirate in history. I prefer the most successful protector.